Now at 9, we have an exclusive interview with Democratic gubernatorial candidate Jennifer McCormick. Find out what her policies are.
Then a man in Florida accused of shouting slurs at the polls. Find out what he was charged with.
And Election Day is around the corner. We have the latest updates.
An Uzbek journalist came to Ball State recently. Find out how the roles of journalism around the world.
Local news about local people, live from Ball State Unified Media. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Amelia Winter.
And I'm Lauren Burris.
NewsLink Indiana and the Daily News had a sit-down interview with Democratic gubernatorial candidate Jennifer McCormick.
This is the first part of our two-part coverage of Indiana's gubernatorial candidates.
So just to start, if you want to talk a little bit about your career history, political history, just your relationship to Indiana, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so my career history was I was an educator. I taught for 10 years and then was a elementary principal, a local school superintendent for 7.5 years in Yorktown, which is right down the road from Ball State. And so lived in Delaware County most of our professional life, and then went on to be the last elected state superintendent of public instruction.
What kind of policies or plans did your campaign have regarding the changes to diplomas?
Yeah, so obviously I was a teacher. I was a local school superintendent and a principal, but I'm also a mom. I was the last elected state superintendent. I'm a businesswoman, so I've seen that side of things too now. And to me, it's nonsensical. I'm not sure why we would tell kids that bringing down the rigor and exposing them to less curriculum is a good thing.
What kind of policies, stance do you have on women's reproductive rights for Hoosiers?
Yeah, and I made it clear during the debates, I'm the only candidate that has been pregnant, has given birth, is a mom, and so I know firsthand the complexities of pregnancy, and they are real. Our abortion ban has passed that's pretty extreme, that has not gone well for women, and so there are a lot of men that are making those decisions for us, but I just trust women, and over half of the Hoosiers are with me on this one.
Legality around marijuana, what is your plan around marijuana?
And so we put out the common sense plan to have a commission to look at a well-regulated industry, including the hemp products, and get started that way with the medical piece, and then learn from other states who did it well, and learn from other states who struggled, and get the best of the best, and then go into adult use eventually. So
NewsLink Indiana did a story on harvest season and the dangers of farmers face due to reckless driving. Do you have any policy points that would contribute towards farmer safety?
That's one reason we picked the lieutenant governor that we selected, because he was the U.S. Ag Director for Indiana, so he has a lot of good experience with that. He's traveled the state, he's talked to communities about safety, but also about crop production, about being smart with your yield. I mean, a lot of different things, but safety always comes up. But we're going to get this done.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tune in again tomorrow for the second and final part of our coverage, an interview with Libertarian gubernatorial candidate Donald Rainwater.
A Florida man is accused of shouting racial and anti-Semitic slurs outside of a polling place in Palm Beach County just last week. 30-year-old Nicholas Farley has been charged with voter intimidation. Police say he yelled the slurs as he drove recklessly around the parking lot at the early voting location in Loxahatchee on October 24th. According to the arrest affidavit, Farley told deputies he did not know early voting was taking place when he made the remarks. Farley remains in Palm Beach County Jail on a $100,000 bond.
With less than a week until Election Day, the presidential candidates are wrapping up their already busy schedules. Today, Vice President Kamala Harris is in North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, while former President Donald Trump is making stops in North Carolina and Wisconsin after speaking in Pennsylvania last night. CNN's Washington correspondent Julia Benbrook has the latest at the White House.
Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are locked in a tight race.
We have just 6 days left in one of the most consequential elections of our lifetime.
Next Tuesday, you have to stand up and you have to tell Kamala that you've had enough.
The race will likely come down to the 7 battleground states that could conceivably be won by either candidate.
Oh, it's great to be back in Michigan.
If we win Pennsylvania, We're going to win the whole deal.
The battleground states can be broken up into two general categories. The Sun Belt battlegrounds include Arizona and Nevada in the west, and North Carolina and Georgia in the east. Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina used to be more reliably Republican. Then there's the Midwestern battlegrounds, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, part of the so-called Blue Wall. These three states used to be more reliably Democratic, but flipped for Trump in 2016, then swung back for Democrats in 2020.
The advantage for Trump, he probably only has to win one of those three former Blue Wall states, Michigan, Pennsylvania, or Wisconsin, in order to win. She, in all likelihood, I think will have to sweep them, but that is totally within her power to do.
Recent polling shows Harris maintains a narrow advantage in two of those three closely watched Blue Wall states. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
As we said, Election Day is in less than a week away. NewsLink Indiana looks to bring the latest information to Delaware County as the only live news television newscast. Our election team has more for you.
Election Day is right around the corner, and NewsLink Indiana has you covered.
Our teams will be live on the ground at party headquarters and polls, getting you the most accurate and up-to-date information.
Plus, we have the latest on the presidential, congressional, and gubernatorial races.
And we'll have you in the know for the potential weather forecast.
So stay tuned for our 2024 general election show and all of our coverage leading up to the big day.
That's all right here live at 9 on NewsLink Indiana's Facebook page.
And with this nice weather we've been having lately, I really hope that everyone's just been getting out there to early vote as well because of the weather. It's just been so nice.
Yeah, I mean, given the temperatures, like you said, it was hot today, so I mean, hopefully it changes up and, you know, is good for this weekend.
Yes, for sure.
Let's pass it off to Olivia with weather.
Thanks, guys. So it is quite warm, and this warmth will continue for the next couple of days. We're currently at 71 degrees in Muncie, which is pretty warm for this time of evening in October. 70 degrees down in Indianapolis, 77 and low 80s out in Illinois. And we do have a threat for severe weather for Halloween, unfortunately, but it should pass by the time that people are going out trick-or-treating and things like that. Luckily, we are in the marginal range for severe weather, so we just might have a thunderstorm pop up possibly throughout the afternoon. All that and more in my full weather.
Journalists are all over the world, but we never get the behind the scenes. This week, Uzbek journalist Navbahor Imamova came to Ball State to discuss the roles of journalism around the world. NewsLink Indiana's Andy Zelaya discusses with Imamova for more details.
It's my job to make every development that I cover relevant. Like I cover relevant issues.
For as long as she could remember, Navbahor Imamova has been invested in the journalism world. Imamova started her broadcasting journey when she was 11 years old, working for children's programs in Uzbekistan. When she was 17, Imamova was able to get a full ride to a journalism program in a school in India. Later, she was hired by Voice of America, an international broadcasting outlet funded by the U.S. Congress.
So they were expanding their broadcasts to Central Asia. Uzbekistan, where I come from, is part of Central Asia. It's the heart of Central Asia. So they hired me as an Uzbek broadcaster.
Imamova also discusses being a journalist in any field can be difficult when it comes to getting information. However, there are some tips on how to deal with those more tricky situations.
No door in the world opens for you because you're a journalist. Most of the time, people like to hide information from you, even the most responsible government. So you want to be nice, you want to be open, and you want to be curious, and you want to be willing to hear every side of the story and not see things in white and black.
The biggest piece of advice that Imamova can give to new journalists is staying objective when making a story.
You know, many people argue that there is no such thing as objectivity. Oh, there is. There is. That is basically, here's how these people see the issue, here's how these people see the issue, and here is the picture. And it's always complicated. It's never simple. You know, and I think our job is to really help people understand how complex the reality is.
Ball State is always looking for incredible guest speakers like Navbahor Imamova. In Muncie, Andy Zelaya, NewsLink Indiana.
For more information, you can check her out on YouTube at America Ovozi or on Instagram at navbahor_VOA.
A certain exercise could help lower the risk of dementia. Find out what was included in this study.
Baby powder is being recalled. Find out which brand is affected.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, love you always.
Everything I do
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Man, it's lonely. Like, going through life lonely.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel. I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
Welcome back. Weekend warrior workouts could be as effective as more regular exercise when it comes to lowering the risk of developing mild dementia. That's according to a new study published yesterday in the British Journal of Sports Medicine. Researchers from Latin America and Europe looked at the health of over 10,000 people in Mexico over the course of several years. They were asked whether they exercised, how often, and for how long. Then they were screened with a tool used to detect cognitive impairment and dementia in older adults. The researchers found the weekend exercisers were 13% less likely to develop mild cognitive impairment than those who didn't exercise at all.
Listen up, parents, a major baby powder recall is growing. The Food and Drug Administration has expanded a recall of Dynacare baby powder made by the Dynarex Corporation. The recall expansion is due to recent tests that indicate the possible risk of asbestos. The FDA says the recall is now affecting products in 35 states, up from just 12 states in September. The company says it has stopped the distribution of the products and is investigating to determine what caused the contamination of the talc.
You may not need to throw out your expired COVID home test just yet. The Food and Drug Administration is encouraging people to check its websites for extensions before possibly throwing away perfectly good tests as they near their expiration dates. The latest round of free test orders has been going on for only a month, but some people have reported some tests are nearing their expiration date. This is the 7th round of the free rapid antigen tests from the federal government. The FDA says the expiration date is the date through which the test is expected to perform as accurately as when manufactured.
And I'll be tracking your trick-or-treating forecast after the break.
As a dad, every day is a challenge. To make sure that the time that I have, I spend with them. It doesn't matter how tired you are, you have to try to teach them. When they learn something new, and you can just see in their faces, it's such an incredible moment. It's those moments that are my favorite.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best.
What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
When tornadoes touched down in parts of our viewing area, NewsLink Indiana kept you informed days in advance.
You do need to be seeking shelter.
Marginal risk of severe weather.
And days after.
The roof has been ripped completely off of this house,
giving you a first-hand look at the communities affected.
When your neighbors lose their house and you don't, how lucky you are.
The first to alert you of severe weather before it happens. NewsLink Indiana Weather.
Can't believe you're doing this alone.
I've done it before.
I remember. You threw your back out. How you holding up?
Hand me that board.
Nothing wrong with getting help.
I'm good.
I did it when Felicia left.
I'll figure it out.
I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone. That's all I'm saying.
If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence?
Now you need my help.
It can be a real pain sometimes, you know that?
Mm-hmm.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Welcome back. So we are taking a look at the Halloween climatology. 72 degrees for your high tomorrow with a chance for some thunderstorms, unfortunately, but they should just be moderate and move out of the way by trick-or-treating time. And if you have any plans, we should be good by that time. And we are near the record that was set back in 1971 at 78 degrees. It's going to be a warm Halloween, which I'm happy about, but we won't have that sunshine, unfortunately. We are currently at 71 degrees in Muncie, 71 down in Evansville. Out west, we can see a little bit more warmth, and we're going to cool down a little bit as a cold front comes through, bringing that rain. But unfortunately, we are still dry. We are in the moderate dry range for Muncie. We really need this rainfall. We hopefully will get up to quarter inch or a little bit more. That would be really good for the plants and all of the dryness that we have been seeing. This evening, no rain for tonight, down to 64 degrees for our low this evening. We are going to have some gusty winds up to 29-mile-per-hour winds this evening as the system comes through ahead of the front. We have some winds, and that's going to fuel the system coming through for tomorrow. Thursday, we have these scattered thunderstorms, possibly moderate to severe in some areas, and that high of 72 degrees, so it's going to be warm. Once that rain clears out, we should just have some cloudy skies. Right now, we can see the system out to the west kind of coming through, some cloud cover right now, but overall, we are clear, and it's going to stay that way until tomorrow morning at around 8 a.m. in Indiana is when the system will approach, and then we'll start seeing some showers popping up at around 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Just be aware of that if you're going to class before you have any Halloween plans. You might get caught in a Halloween shower, unfortunately. But then they'll clear out, and then we'll be left with just some ominous cloud cover and some gusty winds for the rest of Halloween. As you can see here, we are really just in this marginal thunderstorm range, so we shouldn't be seeing anything too severe. The main threat will just be winds for our area. So if you have any Halloween decorations out there, make sure they're secured as the system comes through. And then for the next 7 days, we can see pretty mild temperatures for the rest of the week, the mid-70s, and luckily Halloween weekend will be a little bit sunnier for compared to tomorrow, luckily. So some sunshine is on the way.
Well, that's great news because I know a lot of people have weather-dependent costumes. So thank you, Olivia.
Thank you so much.
There's lots more to get to on NewsLink Indiana. Max Robson has a preview of sports.
Thanks, Lauren and Amelia. One squad starts their season in the nest tonight, while two look to end out strong. All this and more next in sports.
It's something about having that piece of paper. Some people think that's worth more than my skills.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
You just gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Analytics and empathy. That's how I've gained clients.
I am more.
I'm more
than who I am on paper.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
¿Qué color? Perfecto, amigo.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong, amigo?
Donating to a pet's medical care is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
At night, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed.
But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal Weather, bringing you up to speed on the day's top stories.
And giving you up-to-the-minute conditions from the Ball State Weather Center.
And of course, lots of fun.
I gave mine personality.
Oh,
Look, it's got eyebrows.
Ooh, my lucky glove didn't even work.
But I also am excited for those fall temperatures.
Start your Friday mornings with Cardinal Weather, live on the Cardinal Weather Facebook page.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Max Robson with sports. Ball State women's basketball just finished up their first game back in action in Worthen Arena for an exhibition match versus the IU Kokomo Cougars. After two halves, the Cardinals clawed the whiskers off the Cougars 98-45. This is the first time a few Cardinals have played in the nest, including transfers Malaya Johnson from Texas A&M, Lachelle Austin from Eastern Michigan, Tessa Towers from Wisconsin, and Elise Stuck from Michigan. These transfers will look to propel the Cardinals to the top of the MAC standings after finishing second last season in the conference. The high-powered squad has the attention of all preseason poll voters, garnering 10 of 12 votes to land at the top of the MAC before the tournament and 8 votes to win the tournament this year. With the high-power squad, some names have also garnered attention on the roster. Both Allie Becky and Madeline Biscoff have landed on the preseason All-MAC teams, with Becky on the first team and Biscoff on the second. The Cardinals will open up their season back in Worthen against Old Dominion on the 4th. To kick it outside, Ball State women's soccer gears up for their final match of the season tomorrow with a program record on the line. Graduate forward Avery Fenchel has one final chance to break the career record or goals record against the Toledo Rockets. Currently, she is tied for the record with Dee Nocero, who set the record back in 2004 at 30 career goals. Fenchel and the Cardinals will kick off at 3 in Toledo. To keep it green, women's field hockey looks to extend their season this Friday. It's currently at the 5th seed in the MAC. The Cards sit at 3-4 in MAC play and have a chance to make it an even 500 against Bellarmine this Friday. The Cardinals currently hold the series lead at 5-3, and with a win, will head to Miami, Ohio for the MAC tournament. To bring it back to Worthen, Ball State's women's volleyball takes on Eastern Michigan at home as a doubleheader. After flying through Ohio, Kent State, and Northern Illinois twice, the Cardinals look to protect the nest and extend their win streak to 6 against Eastern Michigan. After the 4-game road trip, these 2 weekend matches will be the only matches in the nest before they fly off to Toledo next weekend. Both squads are currently in the middle of the pack in the MAC at 7-4 respectively, with hopes of extending their win streaks on Friday and Saturday. Head coach Kelly Miller-Phillips and outside hitter Carson Tyler look ahead to this weekend's matchup.
Next one ahead of us is Eastern Michigan, and our preparation really doesn't change. So the same things that we've been doing up into this week, we focus on.
Really excited. We look forward to every opportunity that we have, and just being able to play at home in front of a home crowd and on our new court is so exciting. And
Set starts Friday at 6. Lauren, Amelia, I know I am just really excited to see this Ball State women's basketball season start. I mean, 98-45. What an amazing start to the season for the girls.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, like, not even just basketball. I'm seeing women's sports totally on fire. So this is great.
Yes, this is really great. And I can't wait to watch the transfers, too. It'll be exciting to have them come in our team.
Most definitely.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Max. Candles now has holiday candles. Find out what smells can fill your home.
And one final look at weather after the break.
A
attacks against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders are on the rise.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer. In terms of the hate crimes, I think there is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Netflix and MGM Resorts are teaming up to create a restaurant based on the streaming giant at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. It will be called Netflix Bites and is slated to open next year as a one-year culinary residency serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's being promoted as a dining experience that brings MGM's hospitality expertise together with Netflix hit titles. Patrons will be able to enjoy culinary creations inspired by Bridgerton, Stranger Things, and Squid Games. The companies are set to break ground on construction this month, with the restaurant opening in early 2025.
Good. Now you don't have to cook a full Thanksgiving feast for your house to smell like you did. Campbell's unveiled a lineup of candles that smell like Thanksgiving sides. They are green bean casserole, jalapeno cheddar mac and cheese, apple, fennel, and herb stuffing, and everything bagel seasoned mashed potatoes. Campbell says the ideal is to experience your favorite holiday side dish flavors beyond the holiday table. Campbell's partnered with Camp, a family experience company, to create the limited edition collection. The candles go on sale on Camp's website on November 18th.
I might have to buy some of those candles. Yeah. Those look good.
I don't know about that.
Well, we're going to have one final look at your weather with Olivia.
Thanks, guys. So this weekend, there's going to be some rain, unfortunately, on Halloween. But into Halloween weekend, we're going to have some sunny skies, temperatures in the mid to lower 60s, which is going to be pretty nice. And then we're going to get a little bit warmer going into next week, some mid 70s and some cloudy skies. So I am excited. It's going to be sunny for Halloween weekend after the little bit of rain we're going to see on Thursday.
Yeah, and even though the weather's looking a little spooky, I'm excited for tomorrow to dress up. What are you guys going to wear?
I'm going to be an elf.
Ooh.
So that's a little bit ominous for the spooky weather, I think. I know.
I was thinking about doing Catwoman, but since it's going to be so nice, I feel like I'm going to be so hot. So
I know. Yep. I might have to do an impromptu costume because I was going to dress up and like layer up, and I just don't know now.
When in doubt, just make some DIY costumes is what I always do.
Honestly, yeah, and that's why Spirit Halloween is open all year long. And honestly, I think I'm going to go tomorrow and get my costume.
You might need an umbrella.
Maybe. Or maybe, what's that one movie with Mary Poppins with the umbrella? Yeah.
Oh, that's a good costume.
Yes,
some rain
for
boots.
sure.
Yeah,
very fitting.
I think.
Yes. Well, thank you so much,
You're
Olivia.
welcome.
That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 9 on streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, just go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night and stay safe.